start.
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter what time zone you're in, welcome back to Sip&Talk. I'm Sunny.
Morning, everyone. I'm Joe.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sip&Talk. And if you could see me in the studio right now, I'm literally holding my chin, just looking completely shell-shocked. I tell you, I was almost scared to death by the ice cubes in my glass last night.
Yeah, and I just drew a massive question mark on our studio whiteboard because, what is happening right now?
Right. I was drinking whiskey and just kind of scrolling through the news, and suddenly I realized that the world is changing so fast that there isn't even enough time to order a drink on the rocks.
You're kidding.
I mean, last week we were talking about chip supremacy, and waking up today, the whole geopolitical and financial wind has shifted again. Sip&Talkers, get your coffee or your drinks ready. Today we are taking you straight to the front lines of the latest global tech and geopolitical wrestling.
Exactly, because if your observation is still stuck on a simple chip war, you might be falling behind this year's rhythm. According to the latest trend analysis from the Atlantic Council and Bloomberg, the 2026 global tech war has officially upgraded from hardware containment to a full-scale battle for system control.
Yeah, system control.
Right. It's not just about who gets the most advanced chips anymore, but the underlying computing governance, energy supply, and even the architectural trump card of sovereign AI. The financial and political tension behind this is much more complex than simple tariff barriers.
Oh my God, it sounds like going from, I won't let you buy Lego bricks to I'm even going to control the foundation and utility poles of the house you build, right?
That's exactly it.
In human terms, we are not just fighting a tech war. We are fighting for the narrative power and circle of friends of the entire digital world. So, quickly highlight the hardcore points for everyone today. Let's see what Washington and the global giants are plotting again. And real quick, just a reminder to everyone listening, we are not financial advisors.
Right. Definitely not.
We are just two nerds unpacking the world's most fascinating data, so everything we talk about today is just for reference and discussion.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We have to transition from this sort of abstract concept of system control to the literal physical control of our energy systems. And man, it starts right at the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey.
Oh, yeah. That was intense.
Extremely. Trump just announced that the ceasefire with Iran is basically over. We're seeing our forces launching strikes for a second straight night against Iranian radar, missile, and air defense sites all along the Strait of Hormuz.
Right, which is just a massive escalation. And, Trump is out there claiming that we've essentially demolished Iran's military.
Demolished, that's the word he used.
Yes, claiming we've sunk 159 of their ships to the bottom of the sea, wiped out their air force, just total decimation in a matter of days.
Okay, but wait a minute. I'm really struggling to square these facts here.
How so?
Well, if their military is completely demolished and sitting at the bottom of the ocean, why did global oil markets just entirely panic?
The spike.
Right. Brent crude oil just jumped like 6 to 7%, shooting over $80 a barrel on these jitters, and we just removed our sanctions waivers on Iranian oil. But seriously, if they have absolutely no military left, what are we so terrified of?
Just thinking about the anxiety in the market right now makes me need another drink. You can probably hear the ice clinking in my glass. But here's where we have to look past the raw numbers. It comes down to asymmetrical warfare.
Okay, break that down for me.
Well, strategists call it denial of access. You see, Iran doesn't actually need 159 state-of-the-art destroyers to wreak havoc. They just need to hit one commercial oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz.
Just one.
Just one. With a mosquito boat or, a really cheap drone, that single strike immediately scares off global insurers.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about the insurance angle.
Yeah. Places like Lloyd's of London will just instantly hike their maritime premiums or pull coverage entirely. And if they do that, commercial shipping companies simply won't risk sailing into the Gulf. You effectively shut down the Strait of Hormuz and trigger a global oil shock without ever needing a traditional navy.
That is wild. So it's not about winning a naval battle. It's about breaking the map of the supply chain.
Exactly. It's leverage through disruption.
Right. And since that physical threat in the Middle East is so volatile right now, it's like directly altering how our leaders travel and how our global defense alliances are structured. I mean, Trump is publicly claiming that he's #1 on Iran's kill list.
Right, which brings us to a fascinating logistical pivot. Because of that elevated threat, Trump actually flew home from Turkey on the older VC-25A.
Wait, the legacy plane?
Yeah, the iconic 1990s Air Force One rather than the brand new Qatari 747 jet he was gifted.
That is so funny. It's like leaving your brand new flashy smartphone at home during an emergency and just grabbing your dad's old 1990s Nokia brick phone.
Yeah.
Because you know the battery won't die. It survives a drop down the stairs, and it absolutely cannot be hacked.
That is the perfect analogy. It's all about operational prudence, right? That older VC-25A is a heavily proven airborne command post. It has highly secure analog communications and, missile countermeasures that the new jet might not fully have yet.
Makes sense. When the threat is that high, you take the platform you trust, not the newest paint job.
Exactly. And speaking of defense platforms, at the NATO summit, our allies aren't just putting out statements anymore. Defense spending targets were just raised from 2% to 5% of GDP.
That is a massive jump, 5%.
Huge. But the craziest move is regarding Ukraine. They are officially being granted the license to manufacture U.S. Patriot missiles on their own soil.
On their own soil? Wait, so we're giving them the actual blueprints?
Yes. And also, looking at the region, it looks like Turkey might be welcomed back into the F-35 fighter jet program just because Erdogan managed to stay out of the Israel conflict.
Wow, okay. But let's go back to that Patriot missile thing for a second.
Yeah, it's a total game changer.
It really is, because it shifts how we view system control. Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between giving an ally a meal and giving them the recipe, right?
Exactly. Right now, there is a severe global shortage of interceptors. Ukraine is taking hits because they're running out of ammo, and our own domestic supply chains just can't print them fast enough.
Because building a Patriot missile isn't like, assembling a toaster.
Yeah.
It requires incredibly complex guidance systems and specialized rocket motors.
Right. By giving them the license, the proprietary recipe, we are decentralizing production. We're empowering them to sustain their own defense without depleting our stockpiles.
So it shifts the long-term balance of power.
Absolutely. Now you have multiple geographic nodes producing advanced defense systems, and that Turkey F-35 situation, that's just classic geopolitical horse trading. It shows how transactional these alliances are becoming.
It really does. And, while this physical instability is rocking the energy and defense sectors, it is forcing massive amounts of capital to just frantically seek safety and dominance in the tech and AI sectors.
Oh, the tech sector is going crazy right now.
It is. That is where the ultimate battle for system control is happening. Like Bank of America just did a total 180-degree turn.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, they've joined a $4 billion credit facility for OpenAI.
Yeah.
And they had been holding off for so long.
Well, yeah, because OpenAI burns through a mountain of cash and isn't highly profitable yet. They needed to do their due diligence.
Exactly. But they finally caved because they desperately need to secure a lucrative spot in OpenAI's eventual IPO for their wealth management clients.
Yeah.
It is pure FOMO. They realized they cannot afford to miss the biggest tech offering of the decade.
FOMO is a powerful economic driver, honestly. And the numbers across the board are just staggering. I mean, you have the AI chip startup Sambonova raising $1 billion at an $11 billion valuation.
$11 billion? That's insane.
And their entire mission is just to lower the cost of AI inference.
Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me, because AI inference sounds like some serious Silicon Valley jargon.
Fair enough. It's actually the most important concept in tech right now. Think of training an AI model like sending a doctor to medical school.
Okay, medical school.
Right. It costs billions of dollars and takes years, but you only do it once. Inference is what happens after graduation. It's the computing power required every single time a patient asks that doctor a question.
Okay. I get it.
Right now, large language models break text down into tokens. The computing cost for a single token is tiny, but when you have a billion users asking questions every single day,
those fractions of a cent add up to bankrupting numbers.
Exactly. So if the hourly rate for the digital doctor is too high, the whole hospital collapses. Sambonova is valued at $11 billion because they're building a more efficient chip specifically to make inference cheaper.
Wow. Okay. And it's not just software, right? It's hard physical infrastructure, too.
Oh, definitely.
Like Broadcom just secured a $30 billion chip deal with Apple to build advanced components right here in Colorado. We are literally pulling the digital supply chain back within our physical borders.
Yes, the onshoring trend is huge.
And then there's Meta. Let me just check my notes here.
Yeah,
Meta is pouring $10 billion into a brand new data center in Canada to build out their AI cloud infrastructure.
$10 billion in Canada.
Yeah. Why Canada, though?
Two massive reasons, energy and temperature. These AI server farms generate unbelievable amounts of heat and suck up gigawatts of electricity. Canada has vast amounts of cheap, stable hydroelectric power.
Oh, and a naturally cooler climate.
Exactly, which slashes their cooling costs. Meta is doing this to directly challenge AWS and Google. They want to build their own sovereign AI infrastructure so they aren't reliant on anybody else's algorithms.
Okay, but I have to push back on this a little bit.
Go for it.
Are we just building, like, the 2026 version of the dot-com bubble?
That's a fair question.
Right. Because every single tech giant assumes they're going to capture 100% of this new AI economy. Mathematically, they just can't all win. Are we laying down miles of digital real estate in the tundra that no one is actually going to live in?
I mean, that is a very valid comparison, but there is a crucial difference here. Think back to the late 90s dot-com boom. Telecom companies laid millions of miles of dark fiber.
Yeah, they completely overbuilt.
They did. The bubble burst, and a lot of companies went bankrupt. But eventually, the world caught up to that capacity, and that fiber became the physical backbone of the modern internet.
Okay, true.
The difference today is cloud switching costs. Once a company migrates petabytes of proprietary data into Meta's cloud or Amazon's cloud,
moving it to a competitor is an absolute logistical nightmare.
Exactly. It is so difficult and expensive to switch that once an ecosystem locks a customer in, they essentially have them for a decade. So the blind race for scale is transitioning into a hyper-competitive race for efficiency.
So capital is rewarding the companies that can lower the cost per token, not just the ones building the biggest server farms.
Exactly. The survivors won't just be the ones with the biggest data centers. They'll be the ones that run them the cheapest.
That makes total sense. And, you know, it isn't just American capital playing this game either.
Not at all.
Look at the UAE's AC Limited. It's a royal family office, and they are deploying tens of billions of dollars into global tech and defense right now.
Yeah, they are incredibly nimble.
Right, because they don't have the bureaucratic red tape of a traditional sovereign wealth fund.
Yeah.
It's just direct family control. And they are completely unfazed by the regional wars happening in their own backyard. They see that true system control means owning the digital and defensive infrastructure.
They are playing a multi-generational chess game while everyone else is playing checkers, honestly.
They really are. So, okay, we've traveled from the military strikes in the Middle East to NATO defense pacts through the global cloud infrastructure race in Canada and the Rockies. Let's bring it straight back home.
Let's do it.
Because we need to see how this impacts our own American economy and domestic stability. These tremors are being felt everywhere. Like Toyota just announced they are moving the production of their Tacoma truck from Mexico straight to San Antonio, Texas.
And we know exactly why you're doing that.
Oh, yeah.
It is a direct response to Trump's threat of slapping 100 to 250% tariffs on foreign-built vehicles. It is a textbook example of using aggressive trade policy to force industrial capital back inside your borders.
Yep. The calculation for Toyota became very simple.
Yeah.
If you build it in Texas, you pay no tariff. If you build it across the border,
your profit margins get entirely wiped out.
Exactly. But here is the crazy part to me. We are spending all this time and money to secure our global supply chains and build these walled-off economic fortresses to protect ourselves from foreign threats, right?
Right.
But inside those walls, our own domestic institutions are completely fracturing. Look at the main Democratic Party right now.
Oh, that situation is incredibly messy.
It's a state of absolute civil war. You have their 26-year-old Senate nominee, Graham Plattner, who is flat out refusing to step down amidst very serious sexual assault allegations.
Yeah, and the party establishment is publicly fuming. They're saying his team is trying to put their thumb on the scale of choosing his replacement.
Meanwhile, his campaign says they just want transparency. But this is the thing. When they play these national politics games, they forget it's the voters who actually decide. They are alienating the grassroots in a state that is an absolute must-win if they want to hold the Senate majority.
It really shows a severe disconnect between the ruling class and the reality on the ground. They prioritize their own internal power struggles over the constituents they're supposed to represent.
Exactly. It's wild that we can orchestrate this massive global tech war, but our local political machinery is just completely stalling out.
Well, if we want to talk about long-term systemic disconnects, we absolutely have to talk about the domestic economy. There's a new mortgage bankers report out today that completely flips the script on how we view real estate and wealth in this country.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They are predicting a massive U.S. housing glut over the next decade.
Wait, hold on. A glut. I gotta stop you.
I know, it sounds crazy.
It really does. Because my friends are currently bidding like $100,000 over asking price and waiving all their home inspections just to desperately get their hands on a tiny starter home.
Yeah, the market is brutal right now.
So you're telling me that in 10 years, we are going to go from this absolute real estate bloodbath to begging people to take these houses off our hands?
As wild and counterintuitive as it sounds today, yes. And the mechanism driving this isn't interest rates. It comes down to an unavoidable demographic cliff.
Demographics.
Yeah. The defining feature of the future housing market won't be a shortage of homes. It will be a severe shortage of buyers.
Wow. Because of plummeting birth rates.
Exactly. The baby boomer generation is aging out of the market, and millennials and Gen Z simply aren't having enough kids to hit the population replacement rate.
Right.
Housing demand, at its very core, relies on population growth. If the population stagnates or shrinks, that intense cutthroat competition we see today just evaporates.
So you end up with this massive surplus of inventory left behind by older generations.
And a rapidly shrinking pool of first-time homebuyers to purchase them. It's a slow-moving, tectonic shift that completely changes the foundation of domestic wealth.
Man. So tying the macro to the micro here, the tariffs might be highly successful in forcing auto manufacturing and industrial jobs back stateside right now. But if we are facing a demographic cliff with low birth rates, our long-term domestic consumption is going to fall off a cliff regardless.
Exactly.
We are essentially building factories for a population that won't exist.
It really puts the whole concept of system control into perspective, doesn't it? You can control the chips, you can control the data centers, and you can control the borders.
Wow.
But if you can't sustain your own population, the system just hollows itself out from the inside.
It's just incredible to look at the sheer irony of the current global landscape we've mapped out today. I mean, we have tech companies building these massive multi-billion-dollar data fortresses in Canada and the U.S. to protect sovereign AI. Right. We have automakers retreating from Mexico to Texas to hide behind massive tariff walls. But at the exact same time, our domestic political parties are fracturing from within, unable to maintain unity, and our population demographics are pulling the rug out from under the housing market.
It's a paradox.
It really is. Are we witnessing the absolute end of the open, globalized economy in favor of hyper-regional, walled-off fortresses, where every nation just hoards its chips, its data, and its missiles and just hopes the walls hold? It is definitely something for you to seriously mull over as you watch the news unfold this week.
It is arguably the defining question of this decade. And as we wrap up today's deep dive into the data, we want to gently remind our audience of the core ethos here at Sip&Talk.
Always important to remember.
We are strictly about independent critical thinking. We want to be absolutely clear, this show does not criticize, discriminate against, or take the side of any political party, country, or group of people.
Never.
We are just here to look at the objective facts, the market data, and ask the hard questions so that you can draw your own informed conclusions.
Perfectly said. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for Sip&Talk so you never miss an update on how the world is shifting.
Yes, please subscribe.
And finally, a huge cheerful shout out to our old friend Mickey's YouTube channel, Mickey to Life. He has some awesome new travel vlogs up right now, and you absolutely have to check them out. They are fantastic.
They really are. We'll see you next time.